You're now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in.
You're now tuned in.
You are now tuned in
to the Juxtaposition Podcast. What's going on, yo? Welcome to Juxtaposition, aka the Extraordinary Nobodies, episode 4. We got Zoe, we got James, we got KV, we got Cleveland. What's going on, fellas? What's going on?
What up?
Zoe, how was your week, bro?
My week was interesting, man. It was cool. My nephew, Sebastian Hendy. Shout out to the young boy birthday.
Yeah.
All right, Bash. How old is Bash now?
8. Yeah, he turned 8 years old.
8?
Grade 8. Yep.
Damn, that's gone. He's gone.
So, it was all right weekend, little, real chill.
Yeah.
What up?
KV, what's going on with you?
What's up, man? What y'all doing? How y'all feeling out there? How y'all feeling?
Pretty
So
good.
I got you guys on FaceTime. We on Facebook Live, and I just got moving. Got some
Hey, what's up?
families, people
All right.
moving up. That's cool. Everything's good, man. How y'all feeling?
Good.
We good, yo.
Yeah,
I can't
man.
complain.
So yeah, this week has been interesting, man. Kind of did a little bit moving around, but got the chance to celebrate some family's life, celebration birthday, which was cool.
Okay.
And that was interesting, man. I mean, today's been good. I had a good week. Had some heard some interesting news come up into the tabloids. So that was kind of like good timing. Things been interesting, but it seems like things are on the up and up. So, but I feel good, bro. I feel good. It's making it happen.
My man August. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's July. I think August is winning right now. I think the month of August right now is looking really good right now in the month of August.
The boy is hot. We'll come back to that though. For sure. What's going on, James? How was your week, bro?
It's been long, man. Long and stressful. Obviously, I missed last week. Unfortunately, this new job is killing me, man. With these hours, it's like.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I had a little time today. I was able to step away, so I can definitely join in with you brothers. But it's been crazy, man. Working till like 10 o'clock at night, doing group projects, financial modeling, mergers, models. It's crazy.
What's that kind of models? I'm sorry, I cut you in a little early.
Nah, it's cool, man. But I mean, besides that, I haven't seen anything because I haven't been out the damn house. I just been waking up,
here, brother.
Start work at 8:30. And then finishing like at 10 o'clock at night. So
You earning that, Masters.
Yeah, so you got your yeah, for sure. You get MBA is what it is, right? Basically.
Yeah, MBA, concentration in finance.
Lit.
What's up?
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see your stove, bro. Put that stove on.
Shout out
man.
to the
Hold on.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know you ain't had a chance to walk the stage, so this your stage.
Get that in there. I got it on backwards.
Yeah.
But,
it's right in my screen.
We good. We good. We see you.
Cool. Now,
We see you.
Is that right in your screen?
Yeah, we see you.
Yeah, straight.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Year 2000.
Y'all see
Year 2000.
It was supposed to be on like this, though. Let me check.
Yeah.
That's how it's supposed to be.
There you go.
Nah, we see you.
Better?
Yeah, we good.
What's up, man? Congratulations.
Keep that on for the. Appreciate it.
Congrats. Cleveland, what's shaking, bro?
What's up, man? My week's been good. I've been working a lot of early meetings because a lot of my meetings have been with people from overseas. So I've been starting at like 6:30, 7 in the morning.
I was going to ask you, like, is it black early? Because black early is 9.
It's like legit early. It's real early. So that's been a little bit of a challenge, but you know what? I've been doing a lot of, I won't even call it, I was about to say research. I was about to lie because it's definitely not research. I've been online just looking at funny videos just as a way to pass the time. So I saw this video that went viral. I don't know if y'all saw it. It was these church people did a remix to We Some Head Busters.
Oh my God. Son.
I was done after Never Have I Met whatever.
They have
that
more.
joke was stupid though. But this joint is like clearly they're playing around, but it's hilarious. It's like we'll knock you out for the Lord. We some head busters. That thing. Oh man. So
we need that as outro music for this week. We need some outro music.
Definitely.
Just in case. After the Serenity Prayer. Right after the Serenity Prayer, slide that right on in.
It's perfect.
Yeah, after we gotta do the Serenity Prayer right after. Gotta do it. Sure.
But transitioning to that, how was y'all week? What's the best thing that you've seen this week?
Me, bro, like I said, I gotta be honest. I haven't seen anything. I legit have not been out my front door.
No,
it's been like that. Like legit have not been out my front door.
So you just been like working and eating and like you don't need no sunlight, like nothing.
I don't have time. Like it's scheduled right now. So next week it'll maybe be a little bit better because my time I won't be on a strict schedule. I'll just have my work assignments and I just gotta complete them. I can do them early later on, whatever the case is. But right now is meeting at 8:30, going to training for 2 hours, and then you jump into something else for 30 minutes, something type of call, then training again for another 2 hours, group project after that to work with your group, then go back into training. And then once you're done with everything at 6:30, then you have like assignments you have to complete and hand in, and then you got to do your group work after that. So it's just been crazy.
So they want to take up all your time with meetings and then expect you to do work on top of that?
Yep.
Fucking corporate America.
What was crazy? Because I'm an MBA intern, I'm a salary employee. So it's they give you all this work because it's no overtime.
Paying you by the hour.
Everyone who's an undergraduate, they're paying them hourly, so they cannot work overtime. They're done at 5 o'clock, and that's it. I'm like, I see how y'all working.
Yeah,
but I'm also
it benefits them.
I also assume that you are being rewarded handsomely, salary wise.
I am. I definitely am.
And for our return listeners, I just want you to remember to episode 1 when I said that James was rich. Here's confirmation that he is.
Right. But that's how rich people work, though.
Overwork and overpaid.
Overwork and overpaid.
I'm
overpaid. All right. That don't sound too bad.
Talk that, man. Talk that. Talk that big money.
Look, as he sips his bougie glass.
Yeah, sip his champagne.
Where do you buy that Crate and Barrel? Like, I can't get that.
Nah, bro. That's look. Hey, manage your money. This is dollar store glass, brother. Dollar store glass.
You want to talk about that? Manage your money. No, what's up with that? We definitely got to highlight that.
So, Kev, what's the best thing that you've seen this week?
Best thing I've seen this week was family gathering. That was dope. Like spend time with the family. Yeah, for sure. That was probably one of the coolest things. Like,
was you in Maryland or you was in Jersey?
We were in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Miami.
Oh, she was in Florida. Florida.
Went out there for a hot second, hot peek and hop back out type. But we spent a good time. It was always good energy, good vibes, family oriented. Mom's birthday. So I'm kicking with that for a little bit.
Shout out, happy birthday.
Shout out to Mom.
Birthday.
So that was good. We had a good time. So that's to highlight the collaboration, the love. It's probably the dopest thing I saw this week. I didn't want to over highlight and forget about how August is winning right now. We in July. It was looking really good right now. Like, I just want to put that out there. So it's looking really good right now for August. If y'all had any doubts, August is lit. All right.
Summer is on fire.
Summer has started in August. August has started the summer on July. Today's the first. It's a lie. The calendar is lying. Yeah, but that's the second best thing. I had to shout that out too.
Cleveland, what's going on? What's the best thing you've seen this week?
Dang, man, I think the best thing I've seen was I'll stay with Kev's vibe of family. So a couple of my family members, they're my age. My cousin Dre, he re-proposed to his wife because they're going to renew their vows. But he did it like all over again, like he was proposing for the first time. I thought that was super dope.
Hold on, back up. So he proposed. They're already married. Oh,
they're already married. Yeah.
Okay, because I was about to say
the vows, and he literally took it as if like I'm acting like I'm dating her again. I'm acting like I'm gonna propose again, and then we're gonna get married again. Like he literally took it like
this quarantine is something vicious, boy. That you reevaluating everything.
That romance.
It's time, bro. For sure. Yeah. It's time.
Yeah, so that was the best thing I saw for sure. I thought that was super dope. So shout out to Dre.
That's fire. So how about you? Wrap us up. Well, no, I'll wrap us up.
I would say the best thing I've seen, besides spending time with the Hendy family and like I said, Sebastian turning 8. That was definitely cool. I seen old school mom Hendy. Other than that, really just being able to chill with, like, I watched my daughter actually like do some pull-ups. Oh, we went outside to the monkey bar. Amber's a beast, bro. Like,
she better than me.
Yo, she's strong. Me. So of course, when she did, I'm like, oh, here, let's try these boxing gloves real quick. Like,
make sure these hands is right.
Yeah. Like, but yo, Amber's low key, like, she's the beast. She gets on my nerves because she doesn't want to use her athletic ability, like, to do anything that I want her to do. Mm-hmm. But
so she the opposite of Gabe. Gabe just be tapping into this unknown source. He's the most athletic person in the world. And you're like, why you don't play football, bro?
How? Yeah, right.
Shout out to Gabe. The whole chat. Shout out to Gabe.
Yeah, shout out to the guy.
Athletic intelligence.
Athletic intelligence at Athletic Intelligence on Instagram.
Yeah, look him up, y'all. Look him up.
So I'll wrap us up with the best thing I've seen this week. I'm gonna take a page out of my book and I'm gonna say it was me. For various reasons. So, got to bring the humility into the pod. First and foremost, first thing I want to say is Tama's online. Tama, say what's up, y'all.
What's up, Tama?
What up?
She just had the twins.
Sir Bowtie.
Yeah, that's right. She had the twins.
Sir Bowtie Barnes is also on the line. Say what's up.
Oh, the principal himself.
Good brother, what's up?
Yeah.
Mr. Clark.
And my sister Nini said what's up. So shout out to Nini too.
And Vic. Little sis. Shout out
Victoria's online too. Victoria said what's up.
All right. Shout out Vic.
All right. Shout out.
All right. So but I'll say me because today I kind of got up off my ass and I decided to like do some real in-person research in regards to my clothing line. I was doing drop shipping before, which is like, I let the internet handle everything. I don't have no inventory. But today I was like, nah, let me go see a Black-owned manufacturer. Let me see what's going on, test the products. I put an order in. So in about a month, I have new designs, Black-owned manufacturer, and we'll be in the building. So, what I mean? We're going to be...
Cheers to that, bro.
I will pay and order a shirt. I just need to let me know.
No, for sure.
I think it's important. Drop the name of your brand, Var.
The name of my brand is Fauntleroy, which is my last name, and the website is fauntleroy.store. FAUNTLEROY.store. STORE.
Right, by Black.
Sound like an Usher song. You ready?
He had that Usher song a lot.
That has to be the jingle.
You say it with an accent like Fauntleroy.
That's coming. That's coming. It's in the works. I need like the little Maybach music joint. I need that. I need that.
Roy. Like add an echo on that shit.
Right.
We got some folks logged in though.
Who you got, Kev?
We got Ashley Quinlan, which is a good friend of ours from Jersey.
What's good?
Yeah, Matilda. I think Matilda is a former high school friend. Their first name might have changed, but I think it's Matilda. So shout out to Matilda.
All right.
Dante, I know Dante. Shout out to Dante. Dante's a good guy. He's a real good guy, actually. He has a good spirit.
Shout out to Dante.
What's going on?
Dion, shout out to Dion. Dion's a really good guy from back at home.
Kev got Mercer County in here heavy. Hey, yo, Var, I just want to let you know, when you make it big on the T-shirt game, I still got the original Centennial joint.
Oh, the Centennial joint. Oh, my heart.
I still got that. Heart. So that way I can be like, yo, this is where he came from.
I don't even have one. Original. You know what? So we're speaking about Black-owned businesses, and we're talking about what it means to, these days you gotta have a side business. Let's go back to the days of the Centennial back in 2011, back in 2010. we ain't have a pot to piss in, and
or a window to throw it out.
A window to throw it out of. That's a fact. Good brother Kevin brought us a good topic this week about what are the things that we did when we didn't have it to do. What are the things that we did back in the day to stunt, to show off, whether it was trying to get an apartment that you damn sure knew you couldn't afford, having a car note that's too damn much. Talk to me about some of the worst financial decisions you've made in our young lives.
Well, I could start that off, first of all.
Okay,
I don't think that a lot of them were I don't think they were worst financial decisions that we made completely, at least for me. Most of it was my credit. So that's why credit wasn't up to par, so you wind up paying more than you should have.
Right.
But I would say I remember that Acura that I got. That good brother James Corey helped co-sign for me. Yeah.
What brotherhood?
Yep, all the way to Delaware.
Hey, I was just returning the favor.
I know family that won't sign no papers for people.
Mine wouldn't. That's why James was there.
That's good brotherhood, bro.
Yeah, I was just returning the favor though. Zoe helped me out in a real dire situation, man, doing the same thing for me first. That was the least I can do.
And, I appreciate it. Sometimes I didn't have to remind him.
Nope, not at all.
But definitely that Acura was that bill was super high. We had the rent, and I don't think I was making like 30,000, bro, like a year. So
those days. My first job, I was making 29. 29K, brother. Couldn't do shit.
That's crazy.
Couldn't do anything.
I was actually like, I took advantage of opportunities rather than like, I think being young, $29,000 in college working part time it's good money if you think about it. That's $500 a week. You know what I'm saying?
You're not living on your own.
No, if you're not, most of people coming out of college or in college are not living on their own.
Right.
Like for the most part, right? So like that's still $500.
Even with roommates though, like if you live with roommates, you kind of living on your own still. You still paying that rent.
Yeah, we was paying the electric bill for the whole chapter since everybody was in the house.
Word up though.
Me and James go to work, we come back, y'all in the same spot where we left. Like, yo, son, y'all turn it to
we gotta remember that we talking to a broader audience. Explain to them what a chapter is. Okay. What's a chapter?
So we all happen to be members of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated.
Yes.
Eta Delta chapter.
Yo.
It is a branch off of the fraternity as a whole, by school or a region.
Or by region.
Yeah, right. By region. So our chapter just so happened that couldn't wait until we had like off-campus house to go and crash at.
Right.
So this is 2011. You said 2011. We were at the Sherm.
Yep.
The Sherm is an apartment on Sherman Avenue in Trenton, New Jersey.
Trenton, New Jersey.
Sherman Avenue was not the greatest place to live.
Trenton low key was kind to us. Trenton was kind to us.
Welcome people well from the city.
You gotta think about it.
That was embraced. I think every one of you guys represented. Y'all walk through the hood and everyone knows who y'all are. Like,
you know what it was? They all come from kind of like the hood, basically. Just because we was in college or just graduated from college, living in the hood wasn't anything different than what we already knew.
You know them hood rules. Mind your fucking business.
Word up. I see nothing.
It's funny you say that too, because we had some sketchy situations when we lived there.
Man,
that we had to like close the blind and don't open the door on. Like, oh no.
Or my neighbors on Prospect getting my mail for me and holding it down. She used to tell me, she was like, I was on unemployment at the time, and she was like, yo, I'm getting your checks. So like none of the crackheads steal it. Mind you, she was stealing.
She was like, don't classify me with the rest of them.
But I'm holding you down. I'm
a good crack. I remember Vars used to be like, when y'all gonna come eat them crab legs with me? I'm like, what?
Who said this? Who made this sound?
That just sounds terrible.
Downstairs in Prospect back in the day. Yeah. She was shout out. The whole crew was shout out. Like, that she was.
Nah, Trenton's an interesting city, man. But I want to say there's no city more interesting than Baltimore. Like outside
I think Trenton and Baltimore are akin to each other, yo. Like they have a synergy. They have a synergy. I'm not going to speak about all my Baltimore thoughts.
I love Baltimore.
On the public platform. But yeah, let's get back to the bad financial decisions that we all are talking about.
Mine was a car too. Okay. Mine was a car as well. I was
name your car, brother. Name your car.
Yo, for me, I had a terrible interest rate on a Honda Accord that I got because I just needed a good car to get back and forth to work. Like my car was like breaking down on me, all of that. I had
you were paying on this? Like you were paying monthly for a car that was doing that?
No, the car that I was like right at the tail end of the loan, and then it just started breaking down on me, and I needed a new car. And I was trying to get my daughter back and forth to daycare, and it just was not working out. Like we would break down on the way to daycare. It was just terrible. My life.
Hold on, which Accord was this? This wasn't the 05 mobile, was it?
No, that the Accord I had in college, that joint was paid off. That was like my first car, the '94 Accord. This was the 2009 Accord.
That was
okay.
One, right?
So yeah, the silver joint. I got that back in like 2010. I had a terrible interest rate because my credit was trash at the time. I had an interest rate of like 18%, something crazy. And the payment was sky high. Man, that was the worst thing I ever did.
Hold on, Cleveland. I don't know if you peeped, but James is in the top box judging you for 18%.
No, I'm shaking my head. No, I'm like, yes, because that was me. I'll tell my story when you're done.
Yo, don't worry about it. That shit, man.
Yeah. But I needed.
Don't worry about it.
Yo, I could have been smarter though, like right, because like once you get approved for the loan, like you can get a car that's less money, even if the interest rate is high. Like if you gotta like pay more towards the principal or whatever,
right?
Like you have a lower payment, you could pay more towards the principal. Like, but like I didn't want to. I wanted to look clean, so I got something that was a little bit cleaner. That was a mistake, man. That was a mistake. It took me years to pay that car off, yo. Years.
Yeah, sure.
Terrible decision.
So I think James is making a good segue. So go ahead, James.
Let me tell you about my story. So, well, first, right, just to kind of let everyone know about how good brother Zoe helped me out. I got into like my first car that I ever had. My parents got me, fortunately. My 2001 Saturn SC2 3-door, all black, black tints. You feel me?
Yeah.
No, that was my first car, and I got that in 05 in like 2008. It kind of like, I don't know, like when I would drive it and randomly the steering wheel would just lock up so I couldn't turn it.
Ooh. So it was a Saturn being a Saturn.
Yeah. So I was coming off an exit and I couldn't turn it, and the car just hit like a curb and just kind of completely shattered the axle. So I was in dire need of another car.
This was 08?
My credit. This was 08, yeah. It wasn't a bad accident.
But I don't remember this.
It wasn't a bad accident, but I just couldn't drive the car anymore. So credit was terrible at the time. This is like I had got my first credit card when I think in like 2006, just right after my first year in college. And it was a Macy's card, my first credit card ever. They gave me a $5,000 limit. Visa card too, not just at Macy's, use it anywhere. Boy, I didn't know what I was doing. Skunked it up, Macy's, buying this, that, whatever the case was. Credit terrible. Sweater vests at the time, boy.
Sweater vests, ties. That's what we was wearing at parties back then.
Express.
So I had to get another car. Long story short, I had to get another car. Zoe helped me out with that, right? But that was that was not even a bad interest rate because Zoe had good credit at the time. But the 2009 Honda Accord that I got in 2011, that blue joint coupe. Yeah. Joint had a 19.9 interest rate on it.
Ay.
19. Yo, my credit, I promise you, my credit score at the time was a 540.
And they approved you for the car?
Yo, the first place I went to, I called them up like they had a black one. I'm like, because I really wanted this car. But this is the thing, right? This is where you talk about better money management. When we talk about this, I was actually working 2 jobs.
Yes,
I was working full-time at Bank of America, and I was working part-time at AT&T. And I was getting paid well with those commission checks. So I had money. I saved up thousands of dollars.
Kev laughing because he's a recipient of those commission checks
this
too.
Is like, yes.
Right.
This is like,
I know where James is coming from.
Terrible money management, right? I have terrible credit and I'm trying to go buy a new car. That's terrible. But I wanted to do it. So I called the first place. I was like, listen, my credit is terrible. Don't worry. Come down. I drove an hour and 15 minutes to this place. He pulled my credit up. He was like, oh, I can't help you with this one.
You could have told me that over.
I was so upset.
You reimbursed me for gas, though?
Gas. Yes, I'm like, my credit is terrible. I told you this already. Like, you told me to still come, whatever. So I went to another place. They ended up approving me 19.9, whatever interest rate. It was 19 point something. And my payments for a 2009 Honda Accord Coupe was $540 a month.
But what year were
you? Around. We were in 2011. It was a 2-year-old car.
Okay, which is not terrible.
Right? Not too bad. That was brand new. Same model.
I mean, listen, it was the EXL V6 leather interior, all the good stuff. But I'm paying this crazy. The car wasn't that expensive though at the time, right? So I'm $20,000 car with a credit score of 540, 550, and this 19 point something interest rate. Like if I had credit and managed it appropriately, that car payment would have went from 540 to like 320. That's a huge difference, right? Better money management. Don't buy the car at all. I had a perfectly working car. I had I had the black Honda Accord Coupe working fine. There was nothing wrong with it. I did not need another car. That car was perfectly fine. It drove well. It was a good car. I had everything that I wanted. I think this was when I got that car, 2008. I had a backup camera in 2008 on that car, just to kind of show, like, it was
with the illegal tents.
Yo, Var, even James' poor stories is bougie.
Fam,
your poor stories don't sound that bad at all.
This is how
bad money management.
Yeah, bad money.
That's what I'm trying to explain.
Yeah. So thankfully for me on my side, thanks to two people in this conversation right now on this podcast, I didn't have to finance a car until 2018.
Oh, that's so true.
I got a free fucking car from James. He was like, all right, that black Honda that he's speaking of with the backup camera, I had that for like a year and a half, 2 years. And then when I was about to move up North Jersey, I got Zoe's car, took over the payments on that. I don't even know what I was paying you. I was paying you something like, it was pennies.
Like $1.50.
Yeah, it was like nothing. It was nothing.
$1 a month.
I didn't actually finance my own. I got a lease now, but I didn't finance that until 2018. But my poor decision was I was so thirsty to live on my own that like I got an apartment after having the job for a month, and guess what? I lost that job. I lost that job. Very, very soon after I started that, I got the apartment, and it was 2 years of like, how am I going to pay rent? I have no fucking clue. But we had a great time in that apartment. We had a great fucking time.
Yes, we did.
We had a lot of fun. But here's a question to you all. At what point did you realize that you needed consultation, money management, some type of intervention? Was it enough was enough, or you just wanted to be proactive?
Ain't they saying on Instagram, I was today years old when that shit? Today, nigga. That's what
for me. It was actually when me and my now wife, we were actually about to move out and get an apartment together. So at that point in time, I'm like, listen, I know if we about to move in with each other, things getting serious. Like I need to get my shit together. Yeah, like you can't have terrible credit like that, especially trying to get an apartment. I mean, I was able to put my name on the apartment because of our income together, but I'm not sure how they approved me at that time, because even still, that was in 2012. My credit still wasn't good at that point in time, but I knew then I had to start making changes to improve it, which I started to do. So now I have a pretty good credit score.
Just like anything else in our lives, inspired by a woman.
Yeah, man. Listen, you need help. You need that partner. Like it's like you never, like, no matter what, however people feel, no matter what you do in life, anything successful, you need to do that with someone. You need help somewhere, somehow. So
well, because when you're by yourself, you don't care. It doesn't affect anybody else.
Right.
So you don't have any guilt of any kind. But when you know whatever your decisions can affect the other person in some way, shape, or form, whether it's your child or your significant other or both, then you're like, all right, this ain't really about me, and it's really gonna make other things worse. And then you could also lose your significant other due to that. Like that's one of the like highest divorce rate things. Like
what's that? That's in the 10 crack. That's in the 10 crack commandments, or no?
Something like that.
Maybe.
But nah, James, you make a good point, because when you are about to move in with somebody and you have that conversation about finances, if your shit not right, your whole chest is like, I mean, Absolutely. Can we talk tomorrow? Because I got a lot of work tonight.
It's a prideful thing. I figure out how I'm gonna put this. It's a prideful, sensitive thing. Yeah, sure.
Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just saying, like, it's just a prideful thing, you know, like on both, well, more for men, I think, you know what I mean, to express that. He's saying that, I know I made a lot of financial mistakes in college, like, you know, just similar to James, I kind of worked at a part-time situation when I was working, when I was in school, and it was just, I had a good commission opportunity, and I did get a car. It was manageable. I don't think I made a financial mistake on a car as much as I kind of did, because essentially I bought a Nissan Maxima.
No, let's talk about it. Stop there. Stop. Let's stop there. I remember the day. We was at Rutgers, and Kev met us at Rutgers, and Kev was like, yo, I'm about to go back to Trent, like, bet, let me ride with you. So he was like, all right, cool, I'm looking for the Honda. Mind you, that Honda you can hear from a block away. Like,
black joint.
That Honda was down.
Nigga, that shit was, this was the life of this was like the life of aftermarket radios, and Kev's radio used to say his name or some shit. Crazy shit going on.
Oh no, I was into some.
Had them speakers in the trunk.
Yeah, what? So I was walking with Kev to the car. I was like, hold on, like, this your dad's car? He was like, real calm, like, nah, that's my new shit.
Yo, he pulled up. This when he was living at Hazelhurst. He pulled up.
What?
He was like, come outside real quick. I was like, hold up. What's this, man? You know, something like, I'm like, oh, man.
Champagne colored jasmine. That's what we.
Jasmine's her name.
Yeah, I know. Come on. We didn't have episodes inside Jasmine. We don't went to war between. Okay, I'm stopping.
Yeah, for sure. But Jasmine was an interesting purchase. It was just the thing. I think I got a good deal. It was 2008. I purchased it maybe 2012, 10. One of those two.
Nah, son, it was like 2010, I think.
Yeah,
yeah. Okay, so all right, so a good deal. Like I was paying something around $250 a month.
Yeah,
it was manageable, and but the thing was that I just didn't pay the car off quicker. I let it just sit over a long period of time. I mean, I could have just got rid of it, whatever the case was, but I just spent so much money going out. I remember those were the days, like money management. Like instead of saving or paying off my student loans, at that time, like grinding to do that. You know, like rather than going out buying whatever gear to go to the whatever party was going to afterwards. Like,
but that was important.
It was a needed. It's so super needed. I think all of that is. I think the whole process you can't turn back and say. I would do everything I did again, knowing what I know.
I would.
Like just because this is where I'm at right now. You know,
it built the character. It built you.
Yeah, for sure.
So can we go into how we used to get outfits for every function?
Oh wait, hold on. Before we even go there, right? I probably got the illest car stories because of all the cars I've had, and
I can name them, all of them.
Because at one point I had 2 cars on campus, right? Remember that? I had the Ford Escort, a '95 Ford Escort.
I remember the '95 Ford Escort.
95 joint. Yo,
hold on, James. Hold on, John.
95. Like, how old are we?
Yo, chill. Speak for yourself. Nah, but I had the roll down windows, and I remember being in the car one time, and Var rolled it down and took the whole handle off.
Oh my God,
like, bro! He's like, yo, my bad.
It's like cold outside too.
No, it was summer,
oh,
and we was right next to like a bus stop full of girls, and I had the fucking handle in my hand, like.
Did you have to hold it up though? You couldn't put it down. You had to let everybody see it.
I had a real hoopty. He has the handle in my hand. We had the bus stop. At that point, I had ran over a speed bump and put a hole in my exhaust.
I did that before in my
from way down the block, and then it got to the point where the whatever was dying on it, where it had like a gas leak. Where anytime you got in the car, you had to put $5 worth of gas if wherever you was going, or else you wasn't getting there.
See. Again, that's back when gas was $1.02 a gas.
It's like
$1. Half a tank right there, brother.
But that's
we had that, and then I had So my main thing, how I got stuck into that Acura deal, right? So like Kev was saying, like I was trying to do the money management thing, and I had just paid off my Maxima, right? I paid it off from 06 to 2011. I kid you not. The week that I paid it off was when the radiator blew. Like I just paid this shit, and I'm like, yo, now I'm about to go a little while without a car note. I'm about to put that same money, and like in my brain, I thought I was going to try to do some type of money management, but it just didn't happen that way. In fact, I actually got embarrassed. But this is kind of funny because the person who I was embarrassed with, I'm actually married to now, thank God. So she clearly didn't care that I was poor as hell and that dumb shit happened. So remember Popeyes on Olden when they opened that shit? So we on
Good
the
old
way
Popeyes.
to
That's a throwback.
we go to Popeyes on Olden to order food for everybody on the block. So I'm in the drive-through and I ordered the food. I paid for the food, and then I go to the next window. She, of course, they not ready. She like, oh, we not ready. You gotta pull up. We gonna bring you your
always. You go to a hood drive-through, they always tell you to pull up.
Park. Yeah, exactly, right. I put my car in park, and when I put the car in park, all of a sudden I heard a pop, and then goes, and all this smoke started coming out.
Hold on, this is in the
and then the girl
Maxima?
from Popeye's gonna come out like, your car's yo, give my food. Yeah. It's a week after I
give my food.
Yo, she like, your car's smoking. I'm like, get my food and go back inside. Like, mind your goddamn business. Like, are you all up in my shit? Now I'm trying to
fry that chicken.
I'm trying to slow roll it down Olden, past Capitol Plaza, make sure my shit don't overheat.
Hold on. Your wife is real quiet. Did she say anything?
Nah, I looked at her. I almost had to hit her with the same line. You know the same line that niggas hit girls with when they shit don't get up? Like, yo, this doesn't usually happen.
This is an isolated incident.
Yeah, I don't know what this is about, but you know.
Okay, that's fair. So what I was saying about that was the mismanagement of funds, right? Was more about I probably could have paid off. That doesn't matter realistically. What the thing is about, I just was trying to do something to impress people at the time that really didn't necessarily
talk about it. Who were those people, Kevin?
Can't point them out because there's so many. But the point
Hold on, can I stop you for 2 seconds?
Sure.
All right, so I'll paint the picture for the viewers. Kevin, football player, 6'3", like 210, lean, the man on campus. The man on campus. Can I get a hallelujah?
Hallelujah.
He was the man. He was the man on campus, right? So whatever Kev came through with was going to be satisfactory. He went and got the Max, the same model that was current at the time. There was nothing you could do to Kev at that point. There was nothing. Devon had a BMW. It paled in comparison to Kev plus his Maxima. So I wanted to paint the picture for our listeners. Go ahead, Kev.
So that moment, I just had the wrong focus. You know what I'm saying? And with that process of trying to impress, because I think we all do that. We all come from a place where we want to be validated by the things the materialistic things, right? We use those to validate who we are. And but being realistic at the time, I'm a college kid. You know what I'm saying? Like I guess part of me got the car as a symbol of my dad because he had the same car. I kind of wanted to like embody what he had. I just got a different color. So like that was a thing, but I couldn't afford a car realistically because it's a $250 car, and you know, like if you really do like, see, I'm gonna like divert to James in a little bit when we get to financial stuff. But there's a proportion of how much I should be spending on things based on how much I'm bringing in. You know what I'm saying? As a total income for the year. So like I didn't allocate my resources the right way, right? And when I did that, but the reasons why was to impress people essentially, and you dump that category into so many different buckets, right?
Right.
Whether it's a shoes, whether it's a car, whether it was going out, whether it was partying, and so. But you made a good point; those things were important, but in moderation, right? In a
for sure
way where
for
I
sure
can win at the end of the day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I missed that. Those are the opportunities where the mismanagement of funds. I'm gonna be honest. Like I think I was living on the edge for a long period of my life up until I'd say like I started shifting the gears when I moved back to Jersey a little bit. But but the woman in my life today really helped shape up the structure. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
but I will say from 2010 to 2014, it was fun. That edge was fun.
The edge was definitely fun, and it was definitely needed. And I think it helps to help you understand a perspective and be exposed to things that you can kind of stick into your own realm and in your own lane and make that work for you and sustainable for you. I think a lot of people go up there and get caught up in the mix. They lose themselves and they lose their finances, they lose relationships, they lose it all. You know what I'm saying? You gotta ground yourself in a position where you understand why you're there. You know what I'm saying?
I think the thing about finances that's interesting is that nobody can convince you what's right or wrong. It has to be a time when you are ready to make the move. You have to be ready to make the move because you could have, what do they say? If you can't manage $1,000, you can't manage $1 million. That shit is true. Like you have to make sure that you have to have that restraint. And I think for us, I can't speak for all of us, but we experienced each other when we were like faking it till we made it, right? So we all had an opportunity to probably put some bread away. I know I wasn't. I probably learned the real concept of like saving probably like 3 years ago. You feel what I'm saying? So
sure.
No, for sure. So, but I do want to get a chance to get Cleveland in here to kind of share his stories about when for Cleveland for you. When did it begin to make sense?
So for me, so my journey was a little bit different. So for me, I wasn't going out. I wasn't doing anything at all until maybe like 8 years ago. No, it wasn't even that long ago. Like 6 years ago. 6 years ago was when it started to click for me. So 6 years ago, I was kind of back like into like the dating scene. I was making bad decisions with money still because I was trying to look fly. I felt like I needed to like catch up in a sense. Like I'm looking at everybody's highlights.
You did it real quiet though. We ain't even know you was fucking money.
I was always in South Jersey. I wasn't coming down to South Jersey, man. Y'all wasn't trying to come down there to see me. But yeah, man. But nah, I was I felt like I was trying to catch up to like the experiences that I was seeing on Instagram and Facebook. So I was making bad decisions with money, buying outfits for dates, stupid stuff like that. But then I was playing the drums at this church, and this pastor came to me and he asked me how much money I had in the bank, and I'm looking at him like,
hold on, what? In what context?
Wait, I'm real cool with him though. I'm real cool with him. He was like low key, like a mentor. So
you said $5.
I was like, no. At the time, in that moment, I had a stack in the bank. Right, that wasn't normal for me. Like a stack was a lot.
Right. So, it was tax time.
No, it wasn't tax time. I was like, if it was tax time, I had more than
that. That's right. That's when to be husky. You be like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. When that account goes. But nah, man, I had like a stack.
All the Gucci and
then he asked me, he was like, well, what you going to do with it? I had no clue. I was like, I don't know. Like, so he introduced me to this program by Dave Ramsey. And that's really just kind of really what changed my life. I got on this thing called a zero balance budget, where you literally like you take all of your income, all of your expenses, you prioritize your expenses, and the goal is to tell each dollar what to do. So like you don't end up with any leftover money, so to speak. Like you give each dollar a purpose, and that just changed the way that I looked at money. On top of that, like there was a concept that like blew my mind. Is like a lot of people like work to make money. But there's the concept there is like you need to make your money work for you. So that like changes your whole, mindset on how you look at money. So that happened about 6 years ago was when my
shout out to you, bro.
No, that's a fact.
Shout out to you, bro. I was going to say Dave Ramsey is a very familiar name.
Great resource.
We've been embarking in his ideas. We've been restricting though because of what he looked like, low key. But I mean, that's still, in one way, it's wrong of me to think that way. But it's also double consciousness for me to be able to say that I can own up to that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And like, I'm one person that won't take anybody's mantra unless it settles with me first.
Right.
And, so as I'm approaching it, as I'm taking it on, I'm trying to pick at it where we can find comfort in it, where we feel settled in it. But in terms of owning up to every dollar, we think that's a very important model topic, or something that needs to be done. That's how you build wealth. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, give every dollar a assignment. And that was really the biggest takeaways. And I probably learned that key in a 2-year period, maybe a year and a half was when I was put on that, right? And that's God changing your mind's frame of how you spend, right? Because now you know what everything goes, right?
Yeah.
So,
yo, Kev, it's somebody to check out. So there's somebody that works with Dave Ramsey. His name is Anthony O'Neill. He's a brother. He's a good dude.
I seen him. I know. I seen him.
Yo,
I knew the tactic, but I seen him though.
And, yo, I don't think it's a tactic though. Like, honestly, like I knew who Anthony O'Neill was because he's a minister. I knew who he was like prior to like connecting with Dave Ramsey, and like I legit think he's for the cause. So if it makes any consolation to people who want to, you know, work with somebody they can identify with better, Anthony O'Neill, man, he got some good got some good tips too.
I will say that homeboy Dave Ramsey is, you can tell that he's knowledgeable. But what I will say is, if you're not ready, it's aggressive, ultra aggressive. Like,
gotta be willing to fail.
It's one of those things where you're gonna say you want to do it, and you gotta do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. The whole like, so I'm in the preliminary market for wanting to buy a house. So doing the research, I don't think it's time yet, but because out here in the Bay Area, it's insane. So it's like, for us, preparation is key. But his mantra is like, pay off all your debt before you buy a house. Right. I personally, that's not something that's like, I have student loans, which allows me to make a certain amount. Says who? Yeah, right. I wish it didn't count. I wish it didn't count, but for him, it counts.
It takes a lot of will. And it takes time, because you're asking yourself to change habits, right? And things that are valuable to you, regardless of the dollar amount, right? Because that they're yours,
right?
It takes looking at that and sacrificing, quote unquote, is a word, but it's a harsh word, right? And I don't want to use the word sacrifice. I want to use the word temporarily put on hold, or temporarily or come back to. You feel what I'm saying?
Delayed gratification.
Yeah, so like it takes that, but once you get into the idea of making it work for you and your transition, because it doesn't have to happen right away, right? It has to be a transition. But once you make that transition, start taking small steps, and that's just what changed, you know. So I think financial literacy is important. I think the biggest thing is going back to who we were in the time when we had those opportunities. I think we all had opportunities to kind of like get ahead of where we currently are at. You know, like if you were 20, if you were coming out of college, what would you tell us coming out of college to do financially, right? Like,
that's a good pivot point. If we were to graduate in 2020, you'd have secure a job for, I mean, I guess the 40K version of today will probably be like 55K. If you were to graduate now with the salary of 55,000, what are some things we would teach? What would we tell each other that are impactful based on our learnings from failed financial experience?
So first off, for me, from the social aspect, I think it starts with internal, like being comfortable and secure enough with yourself to not try to impress others. I think a lot of spending money comes from that stunt factor. Like, I want to post a hot pic on Instagram. I want to go on this vacation and post the pictures. Like, be secure enough with yourself so that you're not trying to impress others, because you spend a lot of money trying to impress people that you will not care about later in life at all.
Right.
Well, to me, that's the first thing I would tell them.
We didn't have Instagram when we first graduated.
We had Facebook.
We had Facebook
popping.
We definitely had Facebook.
We had Facebook.
Well, that kind of goes back to what you were saying, Var. Like, we started that like junior, senior year. Like,
buying brand new outfits for the next function. Every function we had a brand new outfit, because Facebook couldn't see us having the same
wearing the same
jean shorts for 2 weeks in a row.
Right. That's when literally fashion industry really changed around that time period, because people really started being mindful about wearing the same clothes multiple times. So if you look at it, the market has shifted a lot in terms of that. Just kind of been hearing that, but knowing that that's like an interesting time period when the fashion situation kind of adjusted. And
I'll say another thing that contributed to mine, which I just thought about this as you were saying, pay off all debt before, which I don't know one human who's actually bought a house without college, that went to college without student loan debt. Like,
right?
Yeah, like I was gonna come in and piggyback off that, but I'm gonna let you finish those though.
Right. So I was saying that one of the other, I guess, bad financial decisions that I made wasn't one that going into it I thought wasn't supposed to be a financial decision. And I would say I got out of college. I was making about 60 right off rip. Remember the job that I had, pharmaceutical sales. And I had an apartment where I was pretty much paying for everything by myself. However, that wasn't the goal.
This is going south.
I see what
that
this
wasn't
is
the agreement going in.
The bathing suits.
So no, I was just saying like that hurt me financially. I could have paid bread to, staying at home is never really a fun option when
Fresh out of college. Let's say you're 22.
Yeah.
Let's do 22. You think
for Alonzo, this nigga was 20.
I was 20.
No, Alonzo was 20, but he was 30.
Yeah, word up.
So Alonzo's dancing around it. Basically, what he's saying is he had a roommate that wasn't paying up. Basically,
it's cool, but I mean,
he took on most of the bills.
I don't think that's a bad look though. I don't think you doing that is like, bro. Like, honestly, like I don't think that's a bad look that you took on that responsibility. I think in hindsight, it is like, okay, you consider that a failure because look at the lost opportunity, right? In the situation, you look at the opportunity loss, right? Where you because then you start to factor in your mind what you would have done had that situation not. But rather looking at it like that, look at it as you assume that, and not a lot of people at your time was able to do that. There's not a men. You say you was 20 when you were doing 21, 20. You was 20. Yeah,
you turned 21.
Bro. Okay, 20 years old making 60K and took on a whole being is interesting, bro. Not saying a lot of people can't do that, but I don't see a lot of college maintaining that idea, right?
They can't.
So you was blessed with that idea, right? So what you know now, what would you have done differently?
I would have listened to my mother and my father and told me not to do it. That's the thing. The reason why it's a lost cause is because someone told you don't do it and you did it anyway. And then
it's just that already happened. That's where I'm coming from. I'm coming from the idea that it's already done, right? So
right.
So,
but with that said, I know where Kevin's going. Let's transition to more actionable items that we can take from our terrible financial decisions in the past. What are some things that we could really talk to our 21, 22-year-old selves and say, or viewers who are listening to say, all right, I'm in this situation, but I know that I aspire to be out. And for the record, we have all been in terrible financial decisions, but we've navigated through and we've made our way. So it is possible. So let's go around the room and just say, what are some actionable items that folks can do to take in order to get out of their financial situation?
Let me pick this up and start out. So one, I just want to make sure that people understand one thing that's very important, like we were all mentioning, is don't need to impress anybody, right?
Right.
That's the number one reason why people go in debt. I mean, we can talk about it at a base level, just buying clothes, or is it going to clubs to showcase that we want to pop bottles, or we want to have this particular car, so we're spending $500 on a car payment that you can spend $150 and get in a car to go back and forth if you don't have it, right? It's one thing if you have it and you worked it within your budget and you still can save the appropriate amount of money. That's one thing. If you have the means, I understand. But let's be realistic in terms of actionable items, right? One, this is for people coming out of college or even someone who's just looking to kind of build up their savings. You have to create a budget, right? And this is just being bare bone, basic. This is for anyone, right? You need to create a budget and you need to figure out what your income is after taxes, right? Because we all, as we call it, you got to pay the devil. So you have to pay taxes, right? So figure out your income after taxes, and then figure out your expenses, right? And then from once you do that, just like any company, right? Look at any company. One thing that they always want to do, how can we reduce our costs, right? How can we increase our profit margins? And they increase their profit margins, number one, by reducing costs, right? Becoming more efficient and reducing their costs. Yep. So figure out ways where you can reduce your costs, whether maybe you don't need cable, right? Maybe you only need the internet and you have Netflix and other things where you can kind of reduce that part of it. Or maybe you have a bunch of streaming services that you never use that you need to delete. Those $7.99, they add up, right? All those things, figuring out how much you eat out per month. All of that stuff adds up when you figure out that you can spend $50 on groceries and potentially feed yourself for 2 weeks, whereas you spend $50 in a day buying breakfast, lunch, and dinner, right? Figure out ways where you can reduce your costs, and you can do that by having a budget. You can go on Google, type in budget, personal budget. It will have a bunch that you can download, do an Excel file, and all you have to do is add in your numbers, right? When you do that, you put in things realistic. But when you build that budget, the one thing you have to do, and if you can, this is always within your means, you should save at least 20% of your income.
See, that's what I'm talking about, 20%.
You need to save, and you need to pay yourself first, right? That's the number one thing. You need to pay yourself first. Now, again, this is all within means. I'm being realistic here, right? So clearly not everybody right now can pay 20% to themselves first in terms of savings. But if you can't, figure out how much you can pay in terms of savings, and then see where you can reduce your costs. Wherever you reduce your costs at, you throw that right into your savings because you were paying that before anyway, right? So once you reduce that cost, you take that action, you put it into savings to the point you can either increase your salary at your current job, find a new job that's going to increase your salary, or find another multiple stream of income, right? That's my third thing. If you can find another multiple stream of income, that can be whether you start your own business, clothing business, whatever the case is, or you take some money and you figure out your investment strategy, right? You take a couple dollars, invest it into the market, buy a couple shares, trade them, make some money, buy more.
Or even easier, we're in a gig economy now. Uber, Lyft, Instacart, all these gigs that you can do to utilize your own vehicle in order to make sure that you have more money. That it's coming in from your 9 to 5.
Yes. Get that second stream of income if you need to, right? And when you have that second stream of income, use that as a form of saving and increase your savings to 20%. You want to try to get to 20% of paying yourself first. Now, if you want to incorporate that from your 401k, that you're paying a portion of your salary, which is usually most companies are going 5 to 6% that they match. So maybe you're at that percentage. Or maybe a little bit higher, whatever the case is, use that plus savings on your own, plus your investment, whatever the case is, but you should be giving yourself 20% of your income first.
20%
and using that to save for the future. Once you're able to do that, you will see how less stressed you are. You will start seeing that financial freedom come in and you don't have to worry about things. And then when you are able to save the 20%, I guarantee, this is my last point, your credit will be just as strong, right? Because you will also now start to fix your credit when you're able to save that type of money because you reduce your expenses. The most important thing about credit is that it allows you to reduce your interest rates, right? When you reduce your interest rates, you automatically start saving money, period. So if you have a 19% interest rate that we spoke about earlier with a $540 monthly payment for your car, you reduce that to a normal interest rate, if you don't know, for a brand new car is anywhere between 0% to 2.99%, right? So think about that. Right, 0 to 2.99% and to 19%, right? And a used car anywhere between say 2.99. A good one is to about 4.99, and that's kind of high. 4.99 is actually high.
Right.
So when you reduce that, you're saving hundreds of dollars per month. That can go to your savings, or that can go to other expenses that you may have. So you have to build and fix your credit. You have to start with the budget, right? You have to create the multiple streams of income.
Yep.
And you have to pay yourself first, right? Those are my suggestions.
So that's a good point, James. I just want to make sure that we We had to have those actionable items in order to make sure that folks have some things they can take away from it. On a complete opposite end, a juxtaposition, if you will, we had to speak about some news that Brother Kevin brought up earlier in terms of some gossip that's going on. We don't really usually.
I'm not gonna call it. They don't call it no gossip. It's on a tablet. That's just public information.
You're right.
Gossip,
right.
We have a little hearsay.
We have August Alsina did an interview,
so to speak.
Angela Yee that said that he and Jada Pinkett Smith had a relationship within her marriage. He also gave us some information around the fact that he and Will Smith had a sit-down conversation and he gave them the blessing. Now, to put this in context, this is also within the mix of a lot of rumors for Jada and Will being swingers and allowing themselves to be with other people, on top of them admitting that they are what they call life partners, but not. And August said that they are not romantically linked. So, let's answer this question. Do we think that my man August is lying? Let's start there. Is he being truthful? Because if you've seen the video, he's hurt, like big hurt.
But I think that's where it starts at in terms of maybe not necessarily a lie. There's some truth to every, story, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think with him, because he's hurt, I think he's saying things that maybe not necessarily. He's kind of exaggerating the truth.
Hold on.
What I mean? Because he's a little hurt.
Harry said,
"He'll know how to deal with it."
This was smashed.
No, I don't think so. I mean, if Harry said it, definitely not true.
He said,
if he believed that it happened, then it definitely didn't happen.
Okay.
But I think he's exaggerating the truth a little bit.
I like it. I hear you. I like that. I like that thought.
Go ahead, Kev. Go in.
I'm gonna let Zoe go. I feel like Zoe got something.
Didn't they say that he decided to confess or something because he was being blackballed or something like that? So he decided to just air it out.
I don't know. I mean, I really can't speak for his motive per se, but I don't know.
He got an album out, and he got a video out.
All the people who could eventually see this podcast, Var, you could describe it. When I heard that conversation, this is the first thing I thought of.
Ike Turner.
What? I was like, what? What did? What?
That's a question I have. That's a real question I have. See,
man, listen.
That I think that first of all, if it is true that the rumors are being spread that August Alsina is having an intimate relationship with Jada Pinkett Smith, if it's true, then I think that ultimately, because it's in public's views, it's everyone's business now, right? So that's why we're having this conversation about it. But I think that's a relationship, and that's a marriage, right? That's the thing about marriage. It can look so many crazy ways, and people are talking about getting married. I feel like people don't understand the level of sacrifice and commitment.
I mean, forgetting that Kevin's shapeshifter. Keep going, bro.
Think about it, right? It takes a lot. You feel what I'm saying? So he put up an Ike Turner picture up, right? Because that's the first natural instinct, right? So the conversation then went on to say that Will had a conversation with August, and they had a man-to-man. He gave him his blessing. Apparently, that's what they're saying, right?
Right.
So, okay, let's just say that was a thing. That takes a certain kind of man to do that. To acknowledge that your woman needs the opportunity.
On Will or August?
On Will.
It's a different kind of level of a mindset of a man on Will.
Okay.
Able to be in that space, consciously understanding that his wife is possibly wanting to seek the attention of another man. No one wants to hear that. No man wants to bear that truth. But I think it brings light to what marriage can be and the turns. And when people say man, it was 50 years, you think they talking about this shit was smooth? Shit like this happens. You feel what I'm saying? And somebody got to eat that. You feel what I'm saying?
Just for the record, I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
I mean, but I'm not saying that. The thing is, we all know no marriage is perfect, right? It takes a lot of work. So my position on the scenario is that if it happens, that's great for the experience, because obviously he learned a lot from that experience. Apparently, he kind of a whole new person now. Like she gave him liquid gold. Apparently, now he's in a whole new space. It feels that way, right? But the thing about it is that no one wants to. It takes a different level of mindset to be in to say I'm going to stay with somebody through their ups and downs, whether it's with or without me. It's my job to be this person's lifelong partner on this earth.
Well, let's get to the real meat and potatoes, Kevin. Could you be Will Smith or not?
I don't know if I could have. I don't know if I ever thought to position myself to say I would see myself having a conversation, giving somebody the blessings to do that. Mm-hmm. Like I don't say I can't tell you that that's what I would do. I can't tell you that. I can't say that.
Let's do this.
Yeah. I already know where I'm at with it.
Let's Alonzo, you don't have to say anything. We understand. We get it. You are a card-carrying member of the NRA in New Jersey and shit.
That's a fact.
Is there anyone among us who could be Will Smith if this story is true?
Not me.
No.
Not going down.
Not done yet. Is there any members among us who could be August Alsina if this is true?
I mean, everybody can be August Alsina.
That's a dangerous to play August, though.
Yeah, but Kevin, that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't do that.
We got to be responsible. We got to be responsible because if this is true, August has in our community a more favorable position, right? You're not being violated. No, walk with me. You're not being violated. You are violating with consent, right?
That ain't violation.
So is it violation?
Right, right. So we got to be. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. I know y'all are married. I'm the only one not married on the podcast. Think about take your marriage hat off for 2 seconds. I know it's hard. I know it's stuck. I understand. But would you prefer to be either August or Will?
I mean, prefer? I'm going to prefer to be August.
Talk to me about why.
Well, because it's hard to take my marriage hat off. I mean, that's why. So I understand how Kev was saying that, like,
shut up.
You know, marriages have problems and stuff like that. But and that's a different type of problem where you're just allowing somebody else, because it's not just a random we're gonna have sex, right? They actually were like emotionally connected.
I mean,
that's a whole nother level to me.
Level right there.
Yes.
Right. That's what I mean. Like, no, I couldn't like that. That's not happening. There's one thing for married couples that might want to have a little fun, and you know what I mean. Experiment. You know what I mean. It's
little salt bay, little sprinkle,
little you know what I mean? Like, yes, that's one thing, right? And whatever floats your boat on that one. It's not an issue with that, but it's a whole nother thing to have a conversation man to man with another man and say it's okay for you to have an emotional connection and have sex with my wife as if y'all were in a relationship. That's something that's on a deeper level. There's something, if that's true, there's something between Will and Jada that needs to truly be talked about. Because
but it has.
Do you think it has the effect of affecting the culture?
No. Listen, let's just say talk about their open relationship. Let's just say they have an open relationship, right? An open relationship is about, okay, so we know we will always come back to each other. Me and you always have this emotional connection with each other, but we are also okay with exploring our sexuality in terms of having sexual partners outside the marriage, and that's okay.
But is that James' definition?
But no, that's what it is. But that's not an emotional connection outside of that. You have sexual partners outside of that relationship. But when you bring emotion into it, that's a whole nother level. Because the idea is that you have that emotional connection between your partner.
Go ahead, Cleveland.
I feel like what's being challenged right now are relational norms, just like relationship norms. Like,
right.
So like James' definition of an open relationship could be completely different from Will and Jada's definition of an open relationship. And their relational norms, let's call it, could be different from what I would tolerate. Like for me, being married, I don't even like thinking about the fact like, okay, if my wife wasn't a virgin before she met me, I don't even like thinking about that, right? Like real talk, like I don't even like thinking about it.
Whoa.
So I'm just saying, like, so for me, like, there's no way I can transition from that to being like, yeah, August, go ahead, like y'all have y'all fun, strap up, you know what I mean? Let me know how it was. Nah,
but
like not at all.
Know how it was
in the crib too.
No,
Zo,
it can't happen.
Sean is online, Zo.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Sean, what up?
Who's that? Louis Vuitton, Sean?
Yeah. Boy said, "What's good, Sean?" Yeah, that's my thing. So that's James's definition of an open relationship.
Let's go to Google.
Just stop.
No, we're gonna go to Google. It's a conversation. It's a conversation.
To me, it seems as if, now this is with a grain of salt. I also don't like getting people's business, but this is such a like relevant
topic. Trending topic. Yeah.
To 4 black men who were married, I wanted to get your thoughts. Sure. With that being, I don't think that he's lying holistically. There may be a part of exaggeration, but you can tell that he is, or he was, moved by her presence. That's without a doubt. Like that to me, that's like unequivocal. That's like, it's a fact. The details, of course, Will going to deny that. Of course, Jada is going to deny that. Of course, but I don't know if somebody will put themselves out there to say that it was this plus speculation if he was completely off the radar. Like I just can't see that being a thing.
I don't know. I know there's always some truth to these type of stories, some truth, and I think I'm in agreement with you. I think he just exaggerated because he truly was hurt or is hurt or whatever the case is.
Felt that shit.
But I think because of that hurt, because usually in that type of situation, you don't have a reason to say anything. There's usually some type of ill will that happens that kind of forces you to speak or kind of emboldens you to speak. And I think that happened with him. She kind of did something and he didn't like it.
It was ill will.
Right? Yeah, it was ill will. And I think it had him open up and have that conversation. But of course, in order to protect his self-image in a way, maybe, he exaggerated a little bit to kind of make sure that he didn't look like a fool trying to fall in love with someone who he knew wasn't going to reciprocate that type of love back to him.
Yeah, and that's
and the album is dropping.
And the album and documentary.
In the documentary.
Y'all think that he would go this far to promote?
People did worse, probably.
I don't know. It's just a sticky situation.
Hey, yo, can you say that he did like the side chick thing? Like,
that was my
situation was if Will talks to you.
But y'all said, but some of y'all said that y'all would rather be that. Like,
I didn't say rather. Nobody said they would rather.
Yes, they did.
In that scenario, who would you rather be?
If you had to choose, like if I had to choose that scenario, like if a gun in my head, I have to choose. Of course, I'm going to choose August Alsina. Like, of course, I'm going to choose that position.
Let me ask you a question.
But right? Go ahead, Kev.
First question I want to really like, and I'm not promoting. I don't know how I feel to answer this question transparently. I don't know where I stand on that, to be honest. But what I'm saying is I'm just kind of like, I'm not promoting Will Smith's side, but I'm just saying in that scenario, I think if it's Jada, I think you're better off on Will's side because you always know.
Yes.
Because August ain't got no money.
Jada's going to be there. Yeah, like that's home. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
August don't even got no career.
Nope. I'm not, but we're not asking who you'd rather be, Will or August, in terms of career, in terms
Jada
of money.
Had Tupac on Toes. Jada had Tupac on Twinkle Toes. And
it was a different world.
You know what I'm saying? So my thing is that she's supposed to be a fire human being. She got this fire spirit about her.
Is it the spirit?
It got to be her energy. It got to be something that's captivating,
man,
right?
What's in the box?
That goes head over heels, right?
What's in the box?
What's in the box, bro?
Listen, we're not saying who would you rather be in terms of them, in terms of career or money.
What scenario would you? The whole scenario.
No scenario. It's not whole scenario. It's just the scenario.
Let's shift gears. Put yourself in the position of Will Smith.
Nope.
Now, stop it, Alonzo. Nat Turner and shit. What?
Nat Turner?
No, same.
That's Ike Turner in this.
No. He's. I said Nat. You know, don't listen to no rule.
I said what I said.
So put yourself in a position of Will. If you want to be mature about it, he is in the power position, right? Because he and Jada have a lifetime partnership. They are what people call goals. He is actually opening the door. Granted, Jada has to open the door, but Will is opening the door. That's another level of like maturity, but also what's to say what's on the other side for Will in terms of freedom on the other side.
Well, that's the part we don't know.
We don't know anything.
I agree with you. Well, it is the utmost selfless thing, I'd say, because Will is actually doing a way that we never would think, but he's actually living, I guess, traditional marriage vows, like to make his significant other happy in any way, shape, or form, and knowing that I'm going to
those are not traditional vows.
I'm about to say that.
I didn't say. Listen, I'm saying he took a little far. He added a little salt on it.
Nah.
I'm saying,
man, he poured the whole salt bottle on it.
Right.
But who's to say what's actually okay? This is a whole. We can go down this rabbit hole for hours, because who's to say who determines what is a proper rule for marriage? Y'all are married, so y'all have an observation and experience as to what marriage is for you and your partner. Will and Jada have been at this since like what, 98? They've been married.
You know why, Bar? I say that if that's truly them, let them then own it, right? Don't start denying stuff. Then
no,
that's act in this way. And this,
James, that's the money. That's the money. That is. She is Jada Pinkett Smith. That is Will fucking Smith, bro. They cannot divorce. They
don't have to divorce. I'm not talking about that.
Divorce.
I'm talking about if this is their relationship.
You got to understand, a court of public opinion is as bad as the court of.
Everyone already thinks it. What's the point of confirming it?
What you mean? What's the point? The bag.
I'm just saying.
Point.
They're not gonna lose a bag, bro. They're
not.
No.
And in today's day and age of everything that's going on and everything that people are accepting and being open to, which is great. This is another thing. If you own up to a situation, you're better off than trying to hide it. And the fact that they're denying it to me, it's telling me that no, that's not okay.
You know what, James? I see it as.
I've been waiting for this, by the way. I'm waiting for Cleveland to chime in about this.
I don't really like. To me, it's like it's not a hard deny. It's just like I'm not confirming it.
No, they said adamantly.
Well, I saw Jada.
Yeah,
but like the conversation with Will didn't happen. But like they've said things in the past that like they've adamantly said they're not swingers, because swingers are a very specific lifestyle where you and your wife.
The same as Whitney Houston saying that she don't smoke crack, but she do cocaine.
No. Because like
whack.
Because like a swinging lifestyle is like, and I haven't experienced this. I'm just saying a swinging lifestyle is like you literally go with your wife, your spouse, your significant other, and y'all go do what y'all do together.
Right.
Like to me, that's swinging. And she said we're not swingers. And Will defines them as, lifetime partners. In terms of your question, Var, as to like who is to define what a marriage is, it's like for me, if I'm getting married to someone, all that comes with marriage is exclusivity. Like you are exclusively my emotional connection. You are exclusively my physical connection from here on out. You're exclusively my confidant and the person I'm going to be most intimate with for the rest of my life. To me, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, whether it's emotional, when you let someone else into your marriage, it's no longer exclusive, like at all. So to me, marriage is like the ultimate exclusivity package. So letting someone else into that literally is just letting another avenue in.
But they want to mess up the money. Like that's what I'm saying.
How do we know that they are? How do we know that they're swingers or not?
No, we don't know anything. We don't. This is what I'm saying. We don't know a fucking thing. What we do know is that they're not going to mess the bread up.
They don't got enough bread.
I don't know if this messes up their bread though.
Are you serious?
If they came clean and said we are completely open, Will does his thing, Jada does her thing. You literally think that's gonna mess up their money?
Yes,
they're gonna swing that into another bag.
but they won't do. Look, August came off the handle. This nigga was like, "Nah, I'm doing an interview. I'm just going to spill." She didn't know this was coming.
I think she knew.
You think so? That this was gonna drop the exclusive?
Nah, because it would be probably some type of text messages or something like that going on.
Son, Jada's as big as Beyonce. Okay.
No, she's not.
Nah, she's not.
She's not big as Beyonce?
No.
Nah.
You're not in the Beehive.
Not even close, actually.
I mean, I guess not. I guess I was into the acting space a little bit. I don't know. Time out. I'm not tripping. I'm not tripping for saying that. I'm not. Y'all don't. This is why I know why I said that. Jada's actually on the same level as Beyonce. Beyonce is just a harder worker in terms of.
Oh no! I can't.
I don't think so.
Bro, Jada
works hard, but she's just not on Beyonce level in terms of
nobody's on Beyonce's level.
Time out. Let me just say this.
Oprah lost her luster. Nigga.
This is gonna take us too far. I'm just gonna say I think Jada has the same amount of star power in. She has the same amount of starstruck power, bro. Like Jada is.
Wait till the Beehive hear this and get you on Twitter, my brother.
Oh, I think
Beyonce's
like Jada is like a.
As somebody who's watching, my point is that ultimately I think Jada is.
She's powerful, but she just
Jada.
Okay, that's fair to say that. That's fair to say
clout,
that.
for sure.
She definitely got crowd, bro. She definitely got
clout. I thought you hated that word, bro. I used to say that.
I actually do, but I use it.
It's not even clout. It's more. I look at her art. This is gonna sound so random, right? I'm gonna tell you guys left a little bit. I look at like social currency, right? I look at like social impact. I look at. I know Beyonce has that social impact, but I think Jada also possesses an undeniable power that is just interestingly possessed. And I think Will is attracted to that, and Will is a very influential. I think
1,000%.
Right. So for a man like Will to stay behind a wife that we consider that I hear that doesn't have the same amount of star power, I feel like it says a lot about her. Who she really is as a person.
Yeah.
And I think it says a lot about who he is too as a husband, because I think a lot of people what it does is it opens up the mindset of understanding what commitment means and what
and the different facets it can take on.
That's what it comes down to, right? And I know it's ugly as it sounds, but that is worst case scenario. And it's a worst case experiment, right? But at the same time, you still are going to be tested, and where do you stand on that? You've committed to a lot of things. You vowed on a lot. You guys are adding in his exclusive right? It doesn't say that in your vow. You say for better or for worse. You never said for only me and only you. That was never
for worse is an
unwritten rule.
For sure. Like and I'm not saying that it's like an unwritten rule that we just assume your mind, I'm yours, and we assume that. We assume that. But would you rather your Jada not tell you and it be a thing, or would you rather your Jada confront you because it's still a factor. It's still her own decision that she made. It's still her own.
I think once you open things up, in my opinion, once you open things up, you open up everything that comes with those other relationships. You literally have no control. Like, so let's say Jada and August and Will actually had this conversation.
Okay.
Did they see it going here to where August Alsina is now doing exclusives with Angela Yee and going to the Breakfast Club? I highly doubt it, because once you let somebody else in, you literally lose control of how that relationship is going to flow. That's the danger. So, like, for me, I'm not going to judge anybody's lifestyle. Like, I'm just not. Like, if that's their norm, that's their norm. However, when you go into things like that, you got to know, when you let something else in, you can't control the behavior of those people that you let in, especially with emotions involved.
And I think
the key is the emotion part, bro. Like that's the key part to it, because like I was mentioning, if you decide that you want to have a little spice, spice it up a little bit, that it is what it is, right? But a little spice on there, but the issue is that when you allow that emotion into that relationship, That emotion will drive wedges, will drive things that you can no longer control.
Exactly.
For example, what he's doing now, he was so emotionally attached, and if this is true, so was she, right? And when you do that, she probably was like, nah, listen, you know that that's always going to be there. This is never going to be something that's going to move forward or go public or whatever the case is. And he probably was extremely hurt by that. And he went public on his own because that was his way of dealing with it.
Okay.
But so the emotion part is hard.
Chick thing, side chick, he tried to change the menu. He was like swore she was gonna leave her family for him. I don't know what he was thinking.
No, I don't think that's the case. All right, so we're gonna wrap up this topic so we can kind of end the pod. So what I think is he didn't want to fuck the family up. They're Teflon, bro. You cannot come between them. I think he had a position where he felt like he was made fun of for even expressing the little bit that he did before. He mentioned how they were family and people were speculating like, are you and Jada romantically linked? He felt like, the fuck you mean? Why would I lie about that shit? And then he began to spill the beans. Is that wrong? Absolutely. Because you do have to you have to know your position. And to Zoe's point, in the event that he was the side guy, you have to maintain your position or otherwise you will be ousted. And I think it's safe to say he is no longer safe in the Smith household because Jaden will fuck him up. Y'all seen Karate Kid. Y'all know what time it is. So,
man, she's fired.
First of all, that's my next point. Jada held off Tupac. Tupac is like 85% of women's like goals. And he'd been dead for 25 years. So she had him at bay when they were alive. And she was like, nah, fam, we good. So I think Jada her spirit and her aura is unfuckwittable, which is understandable. And I can see why August got fucked up. But, at the end of the day, I want the podcast listeners to know that it's their business. We got a podcast. We got to talk about shit. Yeah. So, with that said, good brother Alonzo, can you bring us home with this serenity prayer?
I think the serenity prayer speaks volumes based off of the conversation we just had. And I'm going to tell you why. Because it said, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, like their relationship, August. The courage to change the things I can, like shutting the hell up. And
this is a prayer.
The difference between the two. I'm sorry, but that is the serenity prayer for today because August Alsina decided to run his mouth and change the menu and pray that Jada was going to leave Will. It wasn't happening.
So with that said, from 4 black men in VAR, 4 black married men in VAR. I'm black, I know that. 4 black married men.
Not black no more.
Oh my God, this is terrible. As I wrap up, between 4 black married men and me, we'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Peace.
Absolutely.
Peace.
Peace.